Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. I want to thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it when you click on my video. I've got a little yarn haul to share with you, an authorized yarn haul, and a set of hats that I've made that taught me a new stitch. And I don't know if you know that stitch or not, so I was going to share some of that with you. So the first thing, as I say, an authorized yarn haul, is because I started out the year knowing, I'm going to work through my stash. I'm not going to buy stuff just to buy stuff. I see these yarns that are so pretty, like so many of you, and we all just want to buy it all up, right? But I said, not this year. This year, I'm going to focus on working in through my stash, and I'm really happy with the yarn stop that I did make. It was the birthday for YARNCOM, which is another yarn shop here in St. Louis that's not my Seven Sisters yarn shop, and I kind of feel like I'm cheating on Seven Sisters a little bit when I go into this place, but they've got a lot of yarn, and it's a really big place. They do a lot of come together to knit or yarn or yarn crochet. They just did a paint, the bowls that you put your ball in, and then it's got like a funny little squirrely or something that you pull the yarn out through. So, cute little yarn bowls or whatever. They did a painting of those. And so, I mean, it is a good little shop, and it's just kind of far for me. And so I decided, as if you've seen some previous videos recently, I have talked about this peach pattern that I want to make. And so I told myself as I was headed over to the shop that I was only going to buy something if it was the peach yarn that I'm looking for. And I felt really good and protected within that rule that I made for myself. So I got there and I started looking around, and for each day of their birthday, they were highlighting a different yarn maker and a yarn dyer, whatever. And so they had different makers or different yarn companies for different days of the week. And so for the day of the week that I went there, I wanted to, kind of pick one of those out, but that didn't seem to work. What they had in store, nothing was matching my peach. You can't go into stuff like this with too many rules, or you're not going to end up with any, success. So peach was my rule, and I was sticking to it. So they've got ones on this side, and then you go over here and there's 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s. And so, you kind of peruse your way through the store. And pretty much towards the last area that I was looking, just from how I was zigzagging through, I found this yarn that is made by somebody. I've already got some of that yarn in my stash. So when I picked it up, I'll show it to you here. It's by Honey Girl Farms. And look at the beautiful, I'm sorry for the color. It's totally yucky outside, so I've got like no natural sunlight whatsoever. And when I bring in my lights in this poorly lit room, they didn't put any overhead light in this room, so I have to just use light from the hallway over there, the entryway to the house, and I've got a ring light over here that you sometimes will see reflected in my glasses, like now. But anyway, so here's this gorgeous, gorgeous peach yarn. And I thought, is it really peachy? I was coming across a lot that were like orange, and it wasn't really resonating with me until I picked up this one. So yeah, I'd say that counts. It's called Peach. It's very peach color. It's by somebody that I know, and I like their yarn. And so I thought, okay, this one is Pure DK. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's only 218 yards. And I knew I needed about 325, if I'm not mistaken. So I sent a picture to my husband, and I said, look on my yarn wall for this Honey Girl Farms. I had picked up a mystery, like a grab bag skein of yarn when I was on the yarn crawl last year. And this is the one, this is what it was. This one is called Fall at the Ridge. And so it's this really nice kind of yellowish brownish. You've got a lot of kind of some reds and oranges kind of flowing through here. There's some greens. It's a very, very nice colored yarn. So I said, send me a picture of the label, because I wasn't sure, since it was a grab bag, I wasn't sure exactly what type of yarn or what base of yarn it was. So when he came back to say that it was the same base, I thought, okay, if I need about 325 yards of this, I can do the bulk of the shawl in this, and then just do the bordering or the edges or like the outside rows or whatever in this. And I think it'll go just very nicely. Again, the colors I mean, maybe they're showing up okay for you. Let me find an orange spot. See, here's an orange spot that I thought would kind of take the band down a little bit. I thought that would really kind of maybe go well together. We'll try it out and see it. If this was a little bit lighter beige, I would know 100% that I wanted to use it. But, I mean, I'm still going to use it for this project because that's what I was happy about. You know, this was like a miscellaneous grab bag when I got it, so that was fun and exciting. But then now what do I do with it? Like, I'm waiting to pair it with something. So if I need 325 yards out of these are 218 each, I thought that was a win. I thought that was a total score. And I'm going to be happy to make this peach shawl finally. So then, you know, I'm looking at the photo that my husband sent to me at the other yarns that are on my wall, and going through the yarns that they have, they've got a lot of stuff that is new to me and I'm not interested in. So I do tend to kind of gravitate back towards the things that I already know I like them. So I saw these, and I was just sort of looking at the colors. I wasn't really looking at blends or makers or anything like that. I was just kind of looking through the colorways, and this one jumped out at me, and so I had to have it. I had to pick it up and look at it. You can see how beautiful, deep reds down on this side, and then it sort of lightens up and gives a different kind of blended look of the reds like this. So pretty. And so I decided to go ahead and look at the label. And it is Rios by Malabrigo. And this is, here's the back of that label. And so this is worsted weight yarn, and it is 100% superwash merino wool, and we get about 192 meters out of it. Here, let me put that back up for you. So you can see it's just so gorgeous. And I'm like, do I just need a random skein of red yarn like that? I don't know. And again, reminding you that this is the birthday celebration for this store. And I flip over the yarn tag, and I am Aries. So you know that in my yarn life, I have to match a story. I have, reason. I like those connections. So of course I was going to purchase this because it's a birthday purchase, a birthday visit to the store, and this is my birthday. So that counted. The Rios that I had that I was trying to sort of think, could I match it to, is this one here. This one is called Arco Iris. So I didn't have preconceived knowledge that this might be a birthday name on my current trip. So I think that, again, it's sort of kismet or destiny or whatever, because it's a birthday thing and here's a birthday yarn. So, okay. So then the final thing that I purchased on this day, it was again in reference to my Malabrigo Rios yarn, because I was really looking at the picture and really looking at what they had and trying to decide, could I find something that really matched this any better or equally to the red. And that's when I found this one is called Valentina. And it might not look like much here. It is kind of a peachy, light sort of, not peach, sorry, purpley, pinky, light heathering. It's not all solid. You can see some different saturations through there. And then a teensy bit of like a tan, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll put it in better light in the kitchen so that you can see it. But where I was looking at the photo, I'm not quite sure. Somewhere, whoops, fingers caught. Somewhere within these colors here, I was sort of looking to match that. So I thought that would go as well. If, depending on the pattern, you always want to wait to find that most perfect pattern to put it with. There it is. That looks kind of nice. So whether I go, all three together, I don't know what kind of project that might be. But yeah, I thought I had, a couple of choices, a couple of options when I finally do find that pattern to put something together here. But yeah, this one was just so gorgeous. This is I bought this one a long time ago at Seven Sisters. Just fell in love with it. And I had heard so much about Malabrigo yarn before, and I didn't have any. So this was my opportunity to purchase it. So this was $16 back. How long ago did I buy that? Maybe a year and a half ago. And these ones are not marked. I think these ones were $18. Do I have my receipt? Oh, yep. Here's my receipt. So they were $18.95. And so the other thing that we got for it to be part of the birthday celebration is for every $50 you spent, you got to put your name into a drawing for, they had a pattern and the corresponding yarn. And I think they had 10 different patterns or 10 different, things that you could win, you could put your name in for. And 2 of them were big zipper bags. So those buckets were really full with names for the drawing to win that. So good luck to whoever wins that one. I hope it's me. And so in addition to that, they also had a little thank you for, I'm not sure if it was for a dollar amount or just for shopping, but they're little folded up scissors. Look how cute. I was trying to open. There we go. So like this, and then you just pull it down and it creates the scissors. Yay! That's always helpful. That's always handy to have. Like on my bed nightstand, I had a big set of scissors and they kept getting in the way. Okay, they're kind of fidgety to fold back up. I'll do that later. Because there's a little bit of an oil on there, like my fingers are a little bit yucky now and I didn't want to slip and cut myself. So, okay. Wipe them off on my jeans. Okay, so the other part of this video that I have to share with you are some hats that I made. The pattern was just called Men's Crochet Beanie by Omni Crochet. And I was specifically looking to make a men's hat for, we had a guy that was helping us out at work over the Christmas break. Nathan, thank you. His dad, Scott, works for us, and he was off from college for the Christmas break. So we got to use him for some of those like real tedious nitty gritty jobs. We've got a conversion coming up. And so there was some cleanup to do. And so he was really helping us out with that. So I wanted to make him a hat. Since you guys may know, I just made all my team hats for Christmas. This, it had just been Christmas. And so I thought I was going to go ahead and throw a hat together for him real quick. And then I forgot it on his last day. And then I still need to get it back to his dad to maybe give it to him. But so the first hat that I made it by the pattern, and it was gigantic. And Nathan's 20 or something. I'm not sure that he's like got a full-size man's head yet. So I kind of wanted to give him two, I went down in my hook size so that I could try to give him some options, see if maybe one would fit him better or not. So I'll insert some pictures as I'm talking here, because I started, after I made the first one, I made changes like I always do, changes to my hook size and to the yarn that I was using to try to get the end result that I was looking for. So here I am wearing the first hat that I made, and what I used were, here, I'll come back. What I was using for this project were some mill ends. I had each of these colors, and when I purchased them, it was in a pack of 4 mill, they were just mill ends. I don't know, there's no label to them. They came like this in a 1-pound thing, and there's no name. It just says mill end assortments. And I'm pretty sure this was a Joann purchase, that they were in those giant square bins, because I remember like standing on my head to reach one. So I got 3 of these, if I'm not mistaken. I've been working through it forever, and I got these years ago. There's no date on the packaging here. I got Spanish in one side and English on the other. So yeah, so I had a whole bunch of this in the blue, and then I had one of each of those. So 4 skeins each of these 3. And so I had made a blanket a while ago for my granddaughter's other grandmother, in these, I can't remember if it was just 2 or all 3. This great pattern where you do 5 single crochets, and then you go up to 5 double crochets, and then come back down to 5 single crochets, and on the reverse, on the way back around, you do the other side. So I really enjoyed that project. But anyway, so I made the hat first. Let me get my notes out. So the first one that I made, they were using, I think they were using, I love this cotton, and I love this yarn, and they used a 5.5 millimeter hook. So that is what I did at first. And I used my green clover 5.5 millimeter hook. and the hat came out really, really big, as you can see. So I decided I was going to go down a hook size. But what I had sitting near me was my boy hook, 5mm hook. And so it's a different hook. It's a different company, whatever. So it may, crochet up a little bit differently. So knowing that, I went into it. I also had some red heart in the blue. So I hadn't touched this part, these mill ends yet. I was working from a red heart. It was a really, really old skein, and I had a bunch of blue, like a royal blue from that. So that yarn happened to be a little bit thicker. So for the striping, I decided I picked up, I love this yarn in chambray. It's like a blue heathering, and I decided that it was too thin for the red heart. So what I added to it was a Pound of Love from Karen. I said a Karen? I think so. Pound of Love. It's Lion Brand. No, it's Lion Brand. Yeah. Anyway, and I held those two together. So that's where you're going to see this really, really thick striping. And I decided to kind of change up the order of the colors so that the striping would be a little bit thicker. And this one just was way slouchy, way super slouchy. So I didn't necessarily think that that was in the right direction either. So I continued my changing it up, and I decided to best compare to the brown hat that I made, I wanted to grab all my mill ends, use so that it was the same type yarn, and go ahead and grab my 5mm in my clover hook. You're not able to see that very well in the sliding. We all know the clover hooks, right? So this is the same family of hook, and now I'm going to use the same family of yarn here. And so I thought that I would really end up with a good size smaller hat, but it's not smaller enough. As you can see, I went back to the original striping pattern, and it still felt a little bit big. So then this is where I decided to start changing up the pattern a little bit. Again, with my 5mm blue clover hook, I did the light brown on the light brown exactly as the pattern. Oh no, so this one I did still do the pattern. So still no pattern change, just I went back to the original colorway, and I liked the shades of the browns on this one as well. So then the last one that I made, I decided to go ahead. I still thought that there was too much space up in the crown of my hair, up my head. Yeah, so this is the one where I decided to actually start changing the pattern up because I wanted it just a little bit shorter on my head, fit a little bit more like a skull cap. And I like this one. It is a little bit short. I might have done an extra row of single crochets along the bottom just to help cover up my ear a little bit. It does stop a little bit short of that, but otherwise, I was super happy with this family of hat making. So I found my notes about how I reduced the size of this hat. When I was wearing this one, I rolled the brim up, and I realized that that might be the right fit for me. So I counted what I had rolled up, which was two rows of double crochet and 2 rows of single crochet. So I rewrote the pattern in the way that I wanted to do the color changes, and then I was able to take out the rows, accordingly, so that I could see how the colors were going to lay out according to what space I had to work with. So at the end, I did decide to add a couple more rounds of single crochet, and as I said, I would have probably added one more. But that's how I decided. I put on the one that was too big, and I rolled up the brim, and then I counted how many extras I had there, and I kind of deducted from there and then played with colorway. You start to make one, and then you go, well, let me make a little bit of change, and they're working up so quickly. But this pattern introduced me to the herringbone double crochet, which I had never heard or seen before. So I want to go ahead and insert a little section here where I'm comparing a regular double crochet to an extended double crochet to a herringbone double crochet, so that you can see what it looks like and what height differences that you might encounter. So as a crocheter, you are probably familiar with a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and a treble crochet. I wanted to talk a little bit about the different heights that you're going to get when you're using each of these stitches. This is 6 rows of each of those. And with an extended double crochet, there's a variation that you can do that gives you the height in between a double crochet and a treble crochet. You can see here that you do get a little bit more height. These are 6 rows again. And what you do with the extended double crochet to get you this extra height per row is that you're going to pull over 1 extra time, but you are not going to yarn over the way you do an extra time with a treble crochet. So chain up your sides the way, whatever method you do. That's not what we're here to discuss today. You're going to yarn over and pull through like you normally would with a double crochet. For the extended double crochet, you're going to yarn over and pull through just 1 at first. And then you're going to have 3 loops, so you'll yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. This is the extended double crochet. Yarn over and pull through just like you do a normal double crochet, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through just 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This does give you just a little bit more on the height without having to remember that you've got to yarn over twice for the treble crochet. So yarn over just like you would for a double crochet, yarn over, pull through that 1 first, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So this is the extended double crochet, and again, it's going to give you just a little bit more height per row. All right, now with the herringbone double crochet, that's what we're here to talk about. When I worked on this project, it was in the round, so I did not have any edging to have to figure out. This is what it looks like with a stacked single crochet, and this is what it looks like when I tried to do the standing double crochet. Now again, when you come around to the next row and you stitch into that, it will pull it up a little bit, but you are going to have to deal with some sort of an edge on this. But as you can see, the stitch is much more compact than a standard double crochet. If you were going to make a wearable and have sort of like some spacing here, maybe you didn't want that, so then you could use the herringbone double crochet, and it's a bit more compact. So let's show you that. Again, go up your sides the way that you'd like to, whatever's convenient or comfortable for you. Now you're going to yarn over. For the herringbone double crochet, you're going to go into your stitch and pull up a loop like you normally would for a double crochet. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Now without yarning over, you're just going to pull that first loop through the second loop. So now you've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And so here is your herringbone double crochet. It does give you this nice little crossover piece here. You can see on this row here, this little extra stitch right here, that's a nice little texture that you'll feel. So my thumb does work the front of the stitch a little bit as I'm going. Yarn over and go through and pull up that loop like you would normally for a double crochet. And then I sort of hold my finger here so that I can push the stitch back while I'm pulling it through. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. So again, go down into it and pull up like you normally would. I put my thumb there, and then yarn over and pull through 2. This is the herringbone. We're not going to, see, you're not going to pull up another loop. You're just going to pull that through the 3rd loop through the 2nd loop, and then pull through 1, pull through 2. We'll continue doing that one more time. Just rotate that hook, and once you get going, if you're not having to talk about it and explain the stitch, it does go very smoothly. There you go. So I think it does give a really nice variation to the double crochet. Like I said, it gives you a much more compact stitch. You don't see my countertop there underneath. Let's see, put something under there. You don't see all that airy space. You've got just a much more solid finished piece. So that's the herringbone double crochet. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you try something out with it. Alrighty guys, thanks for sitting with me today. I really appreciate your time. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and please do come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.